Bet you haven't seen the Kubota tractor naked like this before. As far as I can remember, this is the third time the loader's been off of it. The second time was about a year or so ago when I had to replace the fuel pump, which is not there, it's on the other side, but it just gives you a whole lot better access into things close to the motor. The first time it came off was when the tractor was first delivered way back in 2005. The salesman took it off to show us how simple it was. And it was simple. And then he showed us how simple it was to get back on. And I guess it was simple, but he did such a good job of making it look difficult that we decided, we're just not going to do that. I mean, there's only 2 pins that hold it on. So it's simple, it just isn't easy. You drive in real close to it, see it's standing on its own little jacks. You drive in close enough that you can hook the hydraulic hoses back up, and then you use the bucket controls to adjust where these plates line up. And this lug down here, you get hooked into this saddle, and then you tilt the bucket the right way and power it up so that where these holes are lines up right here. And you stick the pin in. It's simple, and maybe if you were always working on nice level ground, it would be easy. It just doesn't always seem to be that easy. Hopefully this time, because we are sitting on the level floor, I'm hoping that it's going to go back together nice and easy, but we will see. Today, she's taken apart to replace the water pump. And she's actually going to have to get a little more naked than this, because when you open the hood, yeah, this hood is so much easier to open than the John Deere's, but it doesn't really give you access to much. I mean, you can get to the battery, and that's kind of about it. Everything else is still kind of buried in there. And the water pump, you can see, maybe you can't see. I can feel that the fan's wiggling, and you can hear it, but that's not going to be easy to get to. So then we take the hood off. First step, take the stack. The stack's got to come off. And then there's a hinge in the back. Oh, I think I need a tool. You pop this little pin, or this little cover, and there's a cotter pin in there that you pull out, and then you slide the hood over that way, I think, and it falls off the hinge, and then you just kind of muscle it off. It's not too bad taking it off. Putting it back on is a little trickier, especially if you're by yourself, which I can't imagine how nice it would be to have an extra set of hands. The stack comes off by loosening this clamp down here. This is 1/2 inch. It's one of the few non-metric bolts on this tractor because I put it on there. I got this little leg on the side of it so that you really... Oh, well, if it wanted to spin, it wouldn't. That would jam on something so you could take it off with one wrench. The idea being if you needed to get under a shed or something and you needed to take the stack off, for clearance, you didn't need to get a hold of 2 wrenches. And in theory, there should at least be one adjustable wrench on the tractor or something that you can turn this nut. I guess I don't know why it didn't want to spin, but anyway, that's supposed to jam on something to hold it in place. I welded 2 nuts together because when there's one, it's back in there under this edge where, it's really hard to get to with a wrench. So sticking out proud like that, there you go. Now it's doing what it's supposed to do. You can get to it, loosen it up, and then away she goes. Next step, taking off the hood. I already popped the little plug out. And then this is going to be weird trying to do it looking at the camera. Oh yeah, that's so weird. Well, there's a cotter pin in there. Let me pull it and then I'll show it to you. Ta-da! So that will let the entire hood slide over to clear the hinge and come off. And I'll show you what the aftermath of that looks like. So back there are the hinges for the hood. You can see the daylight coming through the plug that we removed because that cotter pin goes in the end of that pin right there. So the hood has to move over to clear those pins. And then you've got to undo the prop, which is another pin. And then the whole thing, well, it kind of just lays there and you have to lift it off. Ta-da! There we go. Hood's off. It stands up, which is kind of nice. The John Deere's are, once you take the hood off, it's kind of a pain finding something to do with it. So we can get in here real nice, and you can see why we're replacing the water pump. It's not leaking yet, but it's trying to come apart. Fun little detail that you can see here. The stack used to point straight up, and then we had folks that would just run it into things. And I always assumed there was a slip joint that it was just, rotating in. But it wasn't. It was actually bending, and it ended up splitting the pipe here. So I welded that back together. And that's why the stack, you can see it over there, is all brightly colored and candy cane looking in hopes that, it would stand out. And because it is right in front of the operator, maybe the operator would see, oh, there's something that sticks up. I shouldn't plow that into things. But, well, yeah, they broke the pipe. I do not see any drain on this radiator. There's a sump and like a boss where you would think there would be one. Oh, you can't see it. I can see it. There's this little nub right there, but no petcock anywhere. So it's going to be messy. Well, there it goes. Would have been nice to drain the radiator, but that's what we got. New water pump is on. We're just waiting for the sealant, the gasket maker, to set up before we torque it all the way down. Well, I got the loader off. I'm going to replace all of these hydraulic lines, at least one of which has been weeping. So I'm reminding myself which color goes where, because the new ones are not color coded like these were.